My name is Laura. Welcome to this video where we will be exploring a yoga pose, which is a very nice stretch for the back body, particularly the hamstrings, calf muscles, and beneath the feet, even up the back. A seated forward fold, which is referred to in Sanskrit as Paschimottanasana. So you might say that with me. Paschimottanasana. Wonderful. So this posture, like I said, it's a seated pose. It is a wonderful pose to explore when you are moving through postures that help you to connect with the heart center, Anahata Chakra, the heart chakra. We often practice heart openers in the Anahata Chakra exploration. And this space is not just the chest, but also the upper back, the entire space of the chest, upper back, even the arms, all part of the heart center. So it's nice to also balance heart openers, back bends, those types of things with forward folds. So you might notice this posture as a counter stretch to lots of back bending, but with benefits even practiced on its own. So let's dive in. You will notice that I have a couple of props with me today, so not just my mat. Know that you can practice this on the floor. You don't need a yoga mat. It can be nice for some extra padding. I actually have two. And I have a blanket. If you need a little bit more support, if your hamstrings and calf muscles tend to be a little bit tighter, then you may like to have a bolster or a cushion or something like that instead of a blanket, or even in addition to a blanket. So today I just have a blanket with me, and you might like, if you use a strap, a yoga strap, then you might like to have that handy for this pose. So I have a nice long strap. You can use a belt, you can use a scarf, something like that if you don't happen to have a yoga strap at home. Good. So when you are ready, we will come to seated. And let's start by bending the legs. Since this posture is quite a big stretch for the back body, it can be nice to take some time to move through pratapana, some warmth building movements before diving in. So you can bend your legs and windshield wiper your knees from side to side in this way to help you to massage the bum a little bit. You might notice that as you lean back, you can massage the muscles of the bum, the glutes, and you're also creating a little bit of release around the low back. You may feel best with your knees and your feet together, or maybe opening them out wider apart. Good. We'll go ahead and cross the legs. If that's not available, you can extend your legs out in front or even out to the sides. On an exhalation, rock back. Navel draws in as you tuck your chin and tailbone. On an inhalation, lead with the heart drawing forward. You can squeeze shoulder blades, elbows back. So just some gentle warming movements to begin. Exhaling, navel draws in. Inhaling, heart opens, arching the spine. You can feel here how these cat-cow stretches help you to lengthen and to open through both the front and the back of the body. Either continuing to flow forward and back, or you may like to circle for a few rounds. So know that you can move through these Warming stretches for as long as you would like, for as long as you need. Listen to your body. Today I'm just going over them quickly, but you might take longer, more time if needed. You can change the direction of your circles. You might sense how you're beginning to find a little bit of a forward fold, just sweeping through a forward fold at the front of your circle. One more time. Beautiful. Now let your movement slowly come back to center, back to a tall seat. We'll stretch out through the legs. As you stretch out through your legs, this is when we can check in and notice, where would we like our prop or props? I tend to love support behind my knees to avoid locking the knees, hyperextending knee joints in this posture. You might like to prop up your sits bones a little bit, or to sit on the edge of a pillow or blanket to help you to keep your pelvis in a more neutral place and to support your low back. So we do, in this pose, want to be very mindful of any chronic or acute low back pain or injury. We can take it very, very gently, or even move through a flowing expression rather than pausing. But what's most important, again, is that you listen to your body and don't do anything that does not feel safe for your body, does not feel comfortable. Good, so I'm folding my blanket up under my knees. That's where I prefer to have my support, but you might sit on top of a folded blanket or a pillow instead. Checking in that you're feeling rooted through your sits bones. You might even shift a little bit from side to side. The hands can help to send some of the juicy tissue of the bum out to the side a little bit. So you feel those two bony points rooting downward a little bit more. The toes point upward here. So a gentle flex through the feet. If you need a little bit more space for the belly or the upper body, you may like to open the feet. So that's a nice option here. I'll demonstrate first with feet a little closer together, but then I will be taking my feet a little bit further apart, as I am expecting a little one here. My belly is changing. Sitting nice and tall, feeling rooted through the heels, feeling rooted through sits bones. We arrive in Dandasana, staff pose. Breathe in. Your arms sweep out, sweep upward. You might imagine your body in like an L shape. Breathe out. Hinge from your hips to fold forward softly. Breathing in, arms reach out and up, sit tall. Breathing out, hinging from the hip joints. So rather than rounding forward, can you keep your spine nice and long? We'll keep flowing in this way, moving with the breath. Passing through Paschimottanasana. Then coming back to Dandasana with arms extended. You might imagine that rather than drawing your head down toward your toes, that your heart space is actually reaching toward your toes. Your arms sweeping gently. Good. Now you can either keep flowing, keep moving with your breath. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to lower, this movement coming from the hip creases. If you wish to pause, to linger in Paschimottanasana, then The next time you exhale, you might stay where you are in your forward fold, just wherever you land naturally. Your hands can rest at your sides, on your lap. You may have a strap looped around the bottom of your feet. Please avoid any urge, any temptation to be pulling yourself into the posture. Notice your natural range of motion and breathing there at your comfortable edge. Nice deep breaths. You might need to shift the feet to be a little bit further apart, making space for the upper body. I'm going to take that shift myself. Breathing into sensation here. Toes continue to point upward. You may notice a stretch underneath your toes. At the soles of your feet. Into your calf muscles, hamstrings, glutes, all of the way up the back to the back of the neck. Remember always that you can come out of the posture if needed. If you need to take a break, you can lift up, lower back in whenever you're ready, or keep moving with your breath. Let's take a deep breath in here together. And a full breath out. If you're holding a strap, you can release it. Inhale, lifting up. Lift with a long spine. Arms can reach up. Exhale, arms sweeping out and down. Fingertips pointing forward. Let's slide the hands back a little bit. So we talked about forward folds being a nice counter stretch to back bends. Back bends can be nice counter stretches to forward folds. So you might lower through your palms if that's available. You can also make fists with your hands or tense your fingers. Bring your attention to hugging the shoulder blades toward the spine, lifting the heart, arching the back gently. Like your heart's reaching up toward the sky. Your chin can tuck slightly toward the throat. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Full breath out of the mouth. One more time. Good. Return to a neutral spine. Back to a nice neutral spine. We'll come into this pose one more time. And you might notice that it feels different the second time around. Maybe not. Just being curious about what you experience. Breathe in, arms reach out and up. Imagine you're folding from your hips here. Keep your spine long. Hinging forward like your heart is reaching toward toes, toes back, toward heart. Let your arms relax wherever they land. That might be with holding a strap. Adjusting through the legs or feet if needed. Now here we have the option to keep the spine long, like the tailbone and the crown of the head are elongating in opposite directions. So really with the focus of the heart leading the way. If it feels safe and comfortable for your low back, it might feel more relaxing for you to melt forward, to soften through the upper body, sinking forward, then you can take that variation. So it's just another way to be here. You can notice which way feels best for you, for your body. Checking in with that key place of the low back, but you might also want to check in with the neck, upper back, even the backs of the legs. Wherever you are, begin to notice that as you inhale, there's a slight uplifting effect, maybe a call to bring your awareness to the length of the spine. And as you exhale, an invitation to sink and soften downward, forward. Again, without pushing or pulling, just from where you are. Inhaling, spine lengthens. Exhale, sinking, melting forward. 3 more breaths here. Enjoying like a micro flow with your breath, micro movements. And just before we come out of this pose, notice, without forcing the body into any position, without having any urge to feel like you're trying to touch your toes or anything like that, notice how you have relaxed into the posture by simply breathing where you are. Engage your core softly, so a slight draw of the navel inward, upward. We can lift with a long spine. Taking a couple of breaths, let your spine settle in its neutral, elongated position. Pressing through sits bones, tailbone draws down. Crown of the head reaches upward. Forward folds can be very calming for the mind, very soothing for the nervous system. It's like a moment to tuck in, to bow in toward yourself. Now, you might stay here in this neutral spine position for a little while longer, or you could cross your legs to move through just a little bit more counter stretching, maybe a few more of those circles. With a focus of circling around the waist to massage the waist, the low back. And you could go the other way. You might even like to flow through a few gentle seated twists, turning toward one side, passing through center, and turning toward the opposite side. Maybe a few times. And giving yourself time and space to notice how you feel after this inquiry of Paschimottanasana, a seated forward fold, and some Pratapana movements to support you in coming into the posture in a comfortable way, as well as some counter stretches afterward. I would love to hear from you in the comments about how you feel after that pose, what you like about the posture, any sensations that it brought up for you, any questions, comments, things like that. Please do like this video, and you can leave a comment below. And know that along with the theme of the heart chakra, I do have on my channel some other postures that are suited to specific chakras, so heart chakra, but also all of the 6 other energy centers as well. So little clinics like this, themed to different chakras. And this is all part of the Embodied Wisdom 200-hour online yoga teacher training. So if you enjoy diving into chakra-specific teachings and learnings in this way, then you would love this training so much. So I'll leave some information about the online teacher training in my video description below as well, and a link to that. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. I hope you're feeling really great after that little mini practice. Namaste.